Hi, the Mudbrooker here. This video is a response to Fantasy Zero Coach, who nailed me with the scariest moment tag. I would have to say my scariest moment was work-related. All my life I've had fairly dangerous jobs in the construction trades of one form or another. Usually I'm either working way up in the air, way underground, or in a confined space, all of which tend to unnerve most people, but they never really bothered me. Yeah, it's not to say I'm fearless or anything, but it's just that stuff like that doesn't really bother me. After I got out of high school, I spent a couple of years working for a silo repair company. We would replace the roofs on silos, fix the chutes and whatnot. Mostly what we did was epoxy them. Now, corn silage is just chopped corn, which is blown into the silo, where it ferments. The fermenting both helps to preserve the silage and it makes it more digestible to the cows. But the problem is the fermentation process produces acid, which eats away at the concrete staves the silo is built out of. And one way to prevent this is to coat the inside of the silo with an epoxy-based paint. This wasn't really a difficult job. We would set up our staging, climb up to the top, washing the silo with a pressure washer as we went. Once we got to the top, we would climb back down the outside of the silo, let the silo stand overnight to dry, and then come back the next day, climb up, and start to epoxy it. Now, this epoxy-based paint contains a lot of solvents, and there's a thinner for it besides. There's xylene and toluene and all manner of other solvents in there, which would get you just higher than a kite. So I'd spend most of my days working 50, 60 feet in the air, stoned off my ass. Even with a respirator, you would still get some fumes through it, and you'd have to take it off every now and then, wipe the sweat and the condensation off the inside, and enjoy the buzz. You would get so wrapped up into your work and be so high doing it, it was real easy to lose track of where you were. So you'd have to keep an eye on each other up there, otherwise somebody could very easily walk off the edge of the staging. Well, one afternoon, we had almost finished epoxying the silo we were working on, and I thought I missed a spot, so I stepped back a little bit to get a better view, and I stepped right off the edge of the staging. I must have fell at least 3.5, 4 feet. Remember I said we were almost finished? Of course, that thought never crossed my mind. The only thing that registered in my solvent-addled brain was, oh shit, I just fell off, I'm gonna die. To make matters worse, besides the two guys that were working with me, the farmer who owned the silo, his wife, and 3 of his kids stopped by to see how we were doing. So, when I screamed in terror, they all started screaming in laughter. Nothing like adding a little insult to injury. Well, that was my scariest moment, and, well, kind of embarrassing too. So if anybody else wants to take up this tag, I know everybody's been kind of tagged to death lately, feel free to go ahead and share your scariest moment with the rest of us.